Hello, this is Lady Queen I am, and I came back just to talk to you. Um, we're gonna wait a few minutes just to make sure that all that's gonna come into the room, they're given a chance to come into the room before we start. That way I can kind of explain some things and won't have to go back over them. And then also for my replayers, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate the fact that you came in the room just to listen, just to hear, even if it is for the replay. How many believe that there's something great about to happen, that you're going to see something you've never seen before, you're going to experience some things you've never experienced before, but understanding that you have to come with the spirit of expectation, meaning I have to expect to see those things, right? So we're going to give a couple of more seconds just so whoever's coming in the room will get to come in the room. Something I've never seen. I hope you've been having an amazing day. I hope this Tuesday that you're very thankful and that you're just appreciating the fact that you get to see another day of life, that you're excited to be here on this earth, that you woke up with both feet on the ground above the dirt because someone did not get to make it today. Someone did not get to see today, but you were graced and allowed the fact to wake up this morning and with all activity of your limbs and your health and your children's health, your family's health. So be thankful. But we are going to talk about something today and kind of explain basically what I do also. I think it's very important. In Matthew chapter 5, there's a verse that talks about how your eyes are the windows to your heart. And if your eyes are messed up and you cannot see the light, that how dark it is. And I want to basically bring that to the forefront. I want you to think about that. Eyes meaning sight, right? Some people even say their vision. If your vision is all cloudy, and if it's cloudy, then it's kind of dark on where you should go. And I want you to think about it, especially if you're walking and it's dark. Yes, you can still walk. You might stumble a little bit, but imagine if your vision is very clear. There's clarity to your vision. You'll be able to walk without stumbling, without falling, and you can walk a clear path. And so he says the eyes are the light into the heart. So if we're able to see clearly, if our vision is clear, then we'll be able to, walk a clear path, meaning we'll be able to accomplish it a lot easier. We can accomplish a lot more when there's light versus when it's dark. Well, that's where I come into play, right? My name is Shameka Willis. Also, some people know me as Lady Queen I Am. And what I came to help people do is understand every one of us has a gift. Every one of us has a purpose, why we're here on this earth. And a lot of us don't take the time to tap into our gift, to tap into the purpose of why we're here. And we just live this life of, okay, I go to work, I come back home. Some of us have children, some of us, have a spouse. We deal with those. We might go to church on the weekend, and then we do the same thing over and over again every week. We become comfortable with just the routine things of that. But imagine if you would be able to live a life where not only you would have the financial freedom, but you'd have the time freedom to not only give what you want to your children and your spouse, but you'd be able to be free and be happy in what you do. We go to work all the time and we're not happy with what we do. We're not satisfied with what we do. We're ready to leave and we don't know how we're going to do that. We want to find something that we enjoy doing. Well, if you want to find something you enjoy doing, first you have to find that gift inside of you. And in order to discover that gift inside of you, one of the lessons, my first lesson that I teach in my 5-week course is knowing who you are. I'm not talking about your name. I'm not talking about your titles as far as mother, daughter, cousin. I'm not talking about even those titles, but learning who you are from jump. And I think it's very important that you, anyway, I think it's very important that you understand from jump who you are. We don't take the time to discover who we are. And when we do that, we don't allow the greatness to be seen in us. We don't allow those great things to be seen in us. And so we go to the grave, we walk this earth, and we go to the grave with that gift still trapped inside of us. Then the world never gets to see, the greatness in us. So my job and my purpose here on this earth is to help people understand, listen, there is a gift inside of you. Let me help pull that out, because if I'm able to help pull that out, not only do I get to fulfill pieces of my purpose inside of me, but I can help you live that out, and you can be happy at what you do. Because let me tell you, there's nothing more exciting than doing what you have put here on this earth to do. You feel you feel like you have a fulfilled life. To be honest, you feel like you're living life to its full potential, and every day that you put in work, every day that you put in work towards it, you feel successful in that. So with that being said, I want to make sure that my queens understand how important it is to make sure that we're living in our purpose, we're living in our gift. It's time out to stop just living life the normal way. And I say the normal way because this has become the norm. You go to work, you go home, take care of your kids, your spouse, you might go to church, and then you start all over again on Monday. And so that has become the norm, which is not okay to become the norm. That is not, okay for this to be the norm that we do. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure that anybody that might be commenting that I can see, because this setup that I have, it does not show the comments through here. So I want to make sure that I'm able, or if it does, I'm not exactly sure how to do that, but I want to make sure that I'm able to see if anyone comments. But I want to definitely help you reach your full potential, help you reach that goal. Make sure when you come in here in the room that you say hello. That's one thing our parents always taught us. When you enter the room, my dad always says all the time, he said, you take me for granted. You enter the room and you forget, and it's not that. I love my father. It's sometimes you do take for granted. You're just walking in the room saying, hey y'all, not really taking the time to show appreciation. And that's another thing that we need to make sure that we do, because the thing that happened with Kobe Bryant, it was so well, Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and the other 8 people that were on, I'm sorry, 7 people that were on that helicopter, someone did not return home. Someone did not make it for dinner. Someone did not make it for, the event that they had planned the weekend. Someone did not make it. But through that, even though through those 9 lives, you have to make sure that because those 9 lives, have now left this earth, you know what? I'm going to learn a lesson from that. And I'm going to take my one life that I have and live it to its full potential. Life is short. And I keep saying that over and over again. It doesn't matter whether you're young, whether you're old, whether you've accomplished everything you wanted to in life, whether you feel like you've done everything you wanted to do. When it's your time, and we never know when that time is, when it's your time, it's time for you to go. And time doesn't wait on anyone. When it's your time, it's time for you to go. So with that being said, don't you want to live each day like it would be your last day? Like I have to, push, like I have to be proud when I lay down at night and I finish the day out, and I've completed this day. Am I happy about what I accomplished today? There's been some time where I'm like, man, I didn't really get nothing done today, and you kind of fuss at yourself because you're like, I got to do better. I got to do better, because life is short. We don't have much time here on this earth, and you have to be living it to your full potential. Every day you should be looking to learn something. A lot of people, especially when you deal with younger people, they're like, I feel like not, and they won't say it out their mouth. I've learned everything, I can learn. They won't say it out their mouth. But the thing is, they won't even take the steps and effort to learn something new. Learn something new. What is it that if you learn something new, great, you have some extra knowledge. That's amazing. Good morning, Queens and King. Good morning, Miss Brandy, D. Brandy Johnson. Hello, honey. Good morning, Mr. Orlando, King Orlando. Good morning. Let's see. Miss Cleveland. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name, honey, because I don't want to mess it up and I don't have my glasses on. So, but good morning to you guys. Thank you for coming in here. We were just talking basically a little bit about the fact that we have to make sure, in the book of Matthew, it tells us that our eyes are the windows that shines the light inside of us. and eyes being meaning sight. I want you to think that. And it says that if your windows are cloudy, if your windows are cloudy, there's darkness inside of us. So I want you to think about that as far as our vision. And I'm not talking about physical anymore. I'm talking about a spiritual aspect. But as far as our vision and what we're trying to work towards, if it's cloudy, it's going to be dark inside. But when you have a clarity of vision, when you're able to see clearly, that's when you're able to walk into your purpose and like live life to its full potential. And I know a lot of times you feel like it's a cliche, or it's something that basically you're like, everyone's saying that now. Understand how important it is. Understand that if you aren't living your full potential, meaning you're not potent being strong and having influence, if you're not doing those things, and your life has become diluted to where you're just living life, everyday life. I go to work, I go, home to take care of the kids or the spouse, I go to church, and then I start week all over again. We shouldn't be, I want, that's why I understand people that you want to do spontaneous things, because you want to have fun in life. We're not promised tomorrow. I'm not even promised to the next hour. Anything could happen when you leave wherever you are right now. Whenever you get in your car, you can leave and something tragic happen. God forbid. But something tragic could happen. You never know when it's your time. And so you want to make sure that every time you close your eyes, every time you lay down in bed, you say, you know what? Today I handled my business. Today I handled what I was supposed to do. And now that I handled what I was supposed to do, now I can go and try it again the next day. Exercise my gift the next day to help bring value to someone else's life. And that's what we want to do. We want to be bringing value to this earth, and not just taking another day where we're just sitting around and we're not putting forth effort to basically discover our gift or to bring our gift out there. So I think it's very important that we do that. And one thing I don't want to hear is, well, I don't have the finances, I can't do this. Let me explain something to you. And I'm about to tell you a piece of my story. When I began to discover this gift inside of me, and it was motivational speaking. Now, I've sang in front of people all my life, and even then I would get nervous, but speaking in front of people did something else to me. I was terrified of it, really. I did not like to speak in front of people because a lot of times I tell them, listen, I stutter. Sometimes I want to say something, I can't like find the word. You know how like you get like this brain fart and you can't get the word to come to your mind? Like that would happen all the time. And I was like, I don't like being in front of people because that puts me up for judgment. I don't like to be judged, and so I did not like speaking in front of people. Well, going through the things that I went through in my life, I noticed how, especially I'm a paramedic. So when I'd be in the back of the ambulance and people would be threatening suicide, they'd want to kill themselves. And I would sit down, because a lot of times people don't understand that means so much to somebody if you just take the time to sit down and talk with them. And so I would sit down and talk, and we'd have this discussion, and I was like, sweetheart, listen, I know it might look bad today, but tomorrow might be a little better. Like, give life a chance, because you have so much to live for, whether it be kids, whether it be, and just talking to them, trying to help them see the light. Well, my partner would always tell me, she was like, man, you're really good at that. You should start your own business. But I still didn't see anything in that. Well, then I noticed that the more and more I would study, the more and more I wanted to tell people. And then I started to get this serious passion for it, to motivate people. And I started studying like spiritual gifts. And because all of us have a gift, right? So if I'm gonna find out what my gift is, who better than for me to go back to the person that created me and say, okay, what's my gift? Tell me what my gift is. And when I did that, that's when I discovered the gift of encouragement, the gift of motivation. And so the kingdom of God is very close to my heart. So that was my I guess my first baby, to where I need to motivate the kingdom of God, and then wanted to branch out and just begin to motivate other people to see what their gift is, what their passion is, so that they can live inside of that. And understand, you can have passion for something and it not be what your purpose here is on earth. I have a passion and I love basketball, right? I love basketball, and I do have a passion for it. But I know it's not meant for me to go to the WNBA. Even if I would have, I would have loved to, of course, because that would have been awesome. But it's different whenever your passion meets your purpose, and then it like my father said, it ignites it, and it's like, And it's this big explosion in your heart, and you begin to love exactly what you do, and you begin to work in that. But what a lot of times, because of my situation at that time, I was like, okay, I don't have the money to do this. People are, able to put up motivational videos. I can't do that. I really don't care for writing, but just learning different things, learning to write things out, and then kind of reading, I was like, man, that's good. And I started writing things out, and then I was like, you know what? I said, I listened to Steve Harvey, Les Brown, and they're like, okay, it's all a mindset. So I was like, okay, if it's all a mindset, I got to figure out how I can do this. I got to figure it out. So I started looking up different things. When I tell you I watched YouTube videos, I looked up how people make it with no budget. And I started looking up things. And real talk, I started looking up these things. I was like, okay, that means I can make a motivational video. And first I started using my iPhone and recording. That's what I started doing. Just the little voice memos. And I started recording in there. And my sister-in-law had let me know about this company called Grace for Purpose. And I was listening to one of their motivational videos. Well, what I noticed is at the bottom, it says, listen, if you want to send audio in and you believe, you could do it, send it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try mine. I sent it. Well, then they put it up there. And then I was amazed by how many views it had and what they were saying about who was speaking. And I was like, okay, this is it right here. Like, this is my niche. This is what I was put here on this earth to do. It gave me so much joy doing it. So then I started, let me tell you, even sometimes when you're looking for something to begin to develop your gift, when you're looking for something, it'll kind of fall into your lap. That's exactly what happened. One day I had my iPhone in my pocket. Now I told you I was already using the iPhone to record my audio, right? I had my iPhone in my pocket. I pulled it out of my pocket and it was open to this thing called iMovie. So I'm like, man, what's this? So, I'm touching buttons, I'm pressing buttons and stuff. And I'm like, okay, what's this? Well, then I noticed I could have took my audio clip and placed it on there and then put a picture. So basically they would hear me speak, but it would be this constant picture. So I was like, okay. So I started putting out videos like that. Like, that's how I'm gonna do it. That's how I'm gonna do it. And I started putting my videos out, and then I got like 800 views on one, and and like I'm excited now, right? Because I'm like, man, at first I only had 5 views on my Facebook page, but you know what? I even learned it's not even about that, because I will talk to a screen any day to get out what God has given inside of me, and that's real talk. But just I'm like, okay, well, I started putting them out. Well, then for a while of doing that, and I'm getting excited about that and doing it faithfully and being dedicated and determined, because a lot of people will give up. Like, you know what? I didn't get the response I wanted, so I'm not going to do it anymore. Or I didn't get, this that I wanted, and I didn't, I'm gonna give up, and not necessarily just saying that out of your mouth, I'm gonna give up. You just don't try anymore. You're like, okay, well, I can chill today, because if I chill today, I can kind of relax my mind. But let me tell you, the more you chill, the more easier it becomes to chill. The more you sit back and say, you know what, I'm gonna relax today, that's the easier it becomes, because anything that you do repetitively becomes a habit, and until you begin to break that habit. And so, let's see, ring on that. The clock is ringing there. But anything you do becomes a habit. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this every single day. On the way to work, in my car at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'd be recording on the recorder. At my job, in the ambulance, I'd shut the door and I would record. Like, I was serious about recording. When then something else fell into my lap one day, and I know it was nobody but God. I'm not gonna say fell into my lap. I know it was nobody but God revealed these things to me, and allowed me to find these things. But my phone had kind of, I guess, bumped a few buttons. I found out how to screen record. And so I was like, whoa. I said, you know what? If I could screen record, then I can edit it in iMovie, and I can make a motivational video like the professionals do. And I haven't paid one dime for that. I haven't paid one dime for that. And so I recently, on my first one that I've ever did, basically it's called 9 Lives. So go look it up on Motivational Purpose on the YouTube channel, but it's called 9 Lives. And on this video, I learned how to record it and then be able to take it and put it in this clip. And so I was able to produce a motivational video that had video clips and pictures, plus my audio, plus my music, all for free. So anytime you really want to do something, anytime you really have it on your mind to do, you can do it. But the thing is, you have to be trying to put in effort. Just imagine if I would have gave up, months ago and said, you know what, I don't have the money to produce, get these pictures or to produce these videos. So I'm just not going to try anymore. I'm not going to do it anymore. And so I'm saying if I'm not going to do it anymore, and just gave up, I wouldn't have found those things. I wouldn't have located those things to be able to put them out. I'm going into listen, we gotta tell our story. My dad was talking about that the other day. We have to tell our story because people look for realness. And this is real. This is real life. I didn't have the budget. I didn't have what I needed to produce what I wanted to produce. So now I gotta figure it out. I gotta use my mind. And see one I don't remember exactly who spoke of this when he says whenever you say I can't afford something or whenever you say I can't do something, you let your mind off the hook. You give your brain a break. You say, you know what, brain, you can shut down now because she said we can't do it. We're not even going to try. But if you say, you know what, I got to figure out exactly what I'm going to do to get this done. I got to figure it out. Once you do that, your brain says, okay, guys, we got to start working. We got to figure this out. We got to think past some things we've never thought before. So then you begin to think outside that box they talk about, and so when you say I can't afford this or I can't do this or I can't produce this, you allow your brain to get off the hook and say, you know what, brain, chill out, mind, chill out. Y'all don't have to think anymore because she said we can't do it. We can't do it. But if you tell yourself, you know what, I'm gonna figure out a way. That's when your brain is like, okay, now we got to work. And so we need to learn how to stop letting our brain off the hook. Stop letting your mind off the hook that easy. Stop allowing it to just shut down and not looking for what you need to do in order to accomplish the goal you want to accomplish. Because you know how they say, if there's a will, there's a way. If there is a will, there is a way. You just have to find it out. You just have to do it. You have to figure it out. And if you figure it out, then you'll be able to live in your purpose. Hey, Sister Henry, how are you, honey? If you figure it out, then you'll be able to live in your purpose. But it's about doing it. And when I tell you, I've been doing all my audio and videos that I've been doing. The 9 Lives one was all done with an iPhone. It was all, and look, I'm giving iPhone a shout out. I used to be a Samsung lover. I'm sorry, my Android people, but iPhone is handling business right now. But I figured out how to make these audios and put it all together to make the video. And now my 9 Lives on Facebook, it has over 2,000 views. And then on YouTube, I didn't put it till YouTube till later. That's a lesson learned. You see, I won't say a mistake because that was just one of the failures that I did, and now I learned from it. It was a lesson. Let me not even say failure. It was a lesson that I learned. I didn't end up putting it on YouTube until after the 2,000 views on Facebook. And so I have about 300 something on the 9 Lives now on YouTube, which I tell you again, go look at YouTube, Motivational Purpose, 9 Lives, or go look at my Facebook page. You'll see it. Click on it. Make sure you like and subscribe. People watch the videos, don't like and subscribe. You got to let it be known. But yeah, so if you want to do it, if you want to accomplish something, you just have to figure out how exactly you're going to do it. If you have any questions, I am that type. Inbox me and I will try to describe it to you. If I can't, then we'll have to talk on the phone and I can kind of walk you through it. I don't mind, because if we all live in our purpose, if we all do what we're supposed to do here on this earth with the gift that we have inside of us, just imagine how amazing this world would be. Everybody living in their purpose, you become a lot more happier because your thought is a lot clearer and you begin to appreciate those things. And even with the eyesight thing, it is how you look at something. I can look straight at something and see it clearly. But yet my peripheral, even though I see something in my peripheral, it isn't as clear. And when it's not as clear, we don't know exactly what it is. We don't know exactly what we need to do as far as that goes. But if we learn to see things completely different, we learn how to see things completely different, our light will be, our life will be a lot brighter. But you have to learn how to see things differently. It might, and not saying that all my situations have changed. They haven't. But you know what? I decided to look at it differently. You know what? This is trying to teach me something and I need to learn it so I can get up out of it. Let's look at things completely different so that we can live this life we're intended to live, because we're meant to walk in our purpose. God put us here with a gift. That's crazy. If somebody give me a gift and it's all pretty wrapped with the bows and it got all the pretty wrapping, and it's shiny and all that stuff. And I never opened the box. That's crazy. You're given a gift. If you're given a gift, open it, discover the gift, and then use the gift. It's even crazy if I open up the gift and see what the gift is, but I never use it. What was the point of the gift? What was the point of the gift if I never open up that box and say, you know what? Let me see how this works. Let me see how this, how this all goes together. But we get discouraged because we see this gift, and sometimes we see the gift as powerful as it is, and we're scared to be powerful. And because being powerful, not only will you have to keep up the work, but you will be put out there to be judged. People might look at you, and not everyone. You're an acquired taste. You ain't for everybody. You're an acquired taste, and you have to be okay with being an acquired taste. But being an acquired taste shouldn't stop you from being served, from serving. Being an acquired taste should not stop you from serving. Just because not everybody's for you. Not everybody's meant to hear your voice. Some people might find my stuff is it's not for them. I'm okay with that. Definitely I believe I'm here to help a generation understand to think outside of the box, and to help them think a little more and stop letting their mind off the hook. So I understand I'm an acquired taste, but I understand whoever's meant to hear me will be there. And if not, even if I have to talk to a screen, I'm still walking in my purpose. I'm still living in my purpose. So I feel great inside. I feel amazing inside. So that's what my 5-week course also is about. Just teaching you how to look at things completely different so that you can walk in your purpose, walk in your gift. And that even though when you have hiccups, when you have lessons that you learn, that doesn't mean stop working in your gift. That doesn't mean give up, because if you do that, hello, Miss Sharon, how are you? How are you doing, Queen? If you give up in your purpose, and if you stop doing it, I mean, you're not living a fulfilled life. We don't ever tell babies that are learning how to walk when they fall, stop walking, just stop trying because you done tried too many times, and teach other people then we teach them to do that. No, you walk in your gift, you walk in your purpose, even though you fall, even though you stumble, you get back up, you dust yourself off, you dust your feet off, and you keep it moving, and realize whoever's meant to hear you will hear you. And if not, it's all good. It is what it is. So, definitely take the time, take the steps to walk in your purpose, because God has given you that gift. Use that gift. Don't let that gift sit inside of you anymore. Understand who you are. And I'm not talking about your name. Understand who you are. The best way to discover who you are is going back to the Creator and saying, Father, tell me who I am. The gift that's inside of me, tell me who I am so I can use that gift to be able to deliver to your people, because it's about help. The greatest 2 commandments, God tells to love the Lord thy God with mind, body, and soul. And also he says, love thy neighbor as thyself. That means that I should be served. Think about it. I serve God. I help serve my neighbor. How do you serve your neighbor? By using your gift. That's how you serve your neighbor. Use your gift. And that's why it's been put inside of you. So remember, queens, remember, kings, just remember who you are. If you don't know, find out who you are so you can live in that gift. If you change your mind, your life will forever change, because you'll begin to see things completely different. So change the way that you think and watch your life forever change. Remember, I am Shameka Willis, also known as Lady Queen I Am, and I hope you have an amazing Tuesday. Don't forget to go to Motivational Purpose on YouTube, subscribe, like the channel so that you can see the other videos that will be coming out soon, and just show support. That's another thing we need to make sure we do, especially in the kingdom of God. Let's support each other. Let's support each other. Do what God tells you to do as far as whatever it might be. Let's support each other. There's nothing wrong with supporting your sister queen, your brother king, even if y'all are in the same field, because you're going to reach a type of crowd. They're going to reach a type of crowd. Let's support each other and watch how the world begins to change. Watch how it begins to change. But remember, change your life, change your mind, and watch your life forever change. Talk to you again soon. Bye.